Alright, so kind of hard to see, but I have an LG TV here. It's about a 55 inch. I don't know if it'll show up on the video or not, but I think it's got bad LEDs. Anyhow, let's go ahead and pull the set apart. I will get my backlight LED tester and we'll go ahead and test them and see if we have inconsistencies. I don't know how many strips this set has. This might be very similar to the video I did years ago on the LG TV. At that time, that set was brand spanking new, and it had a backlight problem. The strips were not available, so I had to change the individual LEDs. I think the strips are now available if you need to replace those. But let's go ahead and get this guy opened up, and we'll see what's inside. Just FYI, this is a 55LB5900. Manufactured February of 2015, so it's really not that old. Shame on LG. I really thought that they had corrected that backlight issue and their sets would last longer than this. Okay, so here's the connector on the power supply board that supplies the voltage to the two sets of LEDs. So as you can see, we have LED plus, LED minus, LED plus, LED minus. So in most cases, this is one set of LEDs and this is the second set of LEDs. So I'm going to go ahead and disconnect this connector. I'll get my LED tester and we'll test both sets and see if the voltages are within about 5 or 10% at the most difference. Okay, so I have my LED lamp and backlight strip tester. Now this thing puts out 0 to 300 volts. So you can see the display says 300. If I short the leads, it'll go down to 0. And so there's not much current. It only puts out a few milliamps. So I'm going to go ahead and just unplug this. And I'll kind of flip it over here. Positive. So I see 57 volts. 57.5. Go to the next set. And I see 72 volts. Definitely a difference. 72.0 versus 57.4, 57.5. So that is a definite problem. So the way these sets operate is there's a comparator circuit that looks at the voltage output of the two different sets of LEDs. And if there's a voltage difference of more than about 10%, it's going to shut the set down. So if I saw 72.5 and 71.5, that would be perfectly acceptable. But because I'm seeing 57 and 72 volts, that is a definite problem. Way more than 10% difference. So I'll look and see if I can find a set of LED strips for this particular LCD panel. And I'll estimate to my customer and see if he wants to invest the time, the energy, the parts to replace the LED strips in this unit. Now I did notice while this unit was flashing, I could get the menu up and the backlight was set to 100% brightness. So I implore you, if you have an LED TV, go into the menu and lower the LED backlight to 50% or less. And that'll save so much worry and heartache on these LEDs that prematurely die. Just make sure you lower it to less than 50% and these things should last indefinitely. Alright, well I've ordered and received a complete set of LEDs. These are on an aluminum substrate with some 3M adhesive to attach them to the inside of the screen. So I'm going to go ahead and get my LED tester. We'll do a quick test on these just to verify their integrity before we put them in. Alright, so I've got my LED tester set up here. And you may notice that I have some jumper leads on the end of the A sets. I can go ahead and test the B sets. So we'll do all the B's first. So 33 volts. 32.8, 32.8, 32.8, 32.9 to 33 volts. Now we'll test all the A sets. 27.3, 27.3, 27.3, 27.2, and 27.4. Well, they are all within about 1/10 to 2/10 of a volt of each other. And the reason there is discrepancy between the A sets and the B sets is because the A sets have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 LEDs, and the B sets have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Let's go ahead and get the set disassembled, get the old LEDs out, get the new ones in, and verify it is repaired. Alright, so I'm going to go ahead and disconnect the speakers, because I've got to flip this set over and I don't want the speakers to fall out. So the speakers are disconnected. I'm going to go ahead and take this off the bottom. It's the front LED indicator and remote receiver. Use your egg carton separator to store the screws. I want to go ahead and unplug these connectors. They just flip up, kind of hard to see in the camera, but these are the LVDS cables. Go into the timing controller. Actually coming from the timing controller right here, and they drive the LCD panel. Next I'm going to go ahead and pull these screws out so I can gain access down here to the circuit boards. We'll have to move those out of the way. Then I'll flip the set completely over. It's going to have enough clearance. It's going to sit on these 4 wall mounting brackets. Alright, so now these are the LCD driver circuit boards. They're loose in their mounts. They're not going to fall out, but I'm going to have to take them out and flip them up so I can remove the LCD screen when I flip this set completely over. Okay, so next I'm going to go ahead and pull these screws out all the way around the set. There's one. There's one. So I'm not doing this on my workbench because the set is frankly too large and I need enough room to go ahead and set the LCD panel aside once I get done with it. So let's go ahead and pull all of those screws out all the way around the set. Okay, so now this is the tricky part, because you don't want to stretch these ribbon cables any more than absolutely necessary. There we go. So it's just dangling down right now. Okay, next I'm going to get a roll of tape. I'm just going to take out a piece probably 3-4 inches or so. I'm going to fold the end over. And I'm just going to take this and very carefully, with the minimum amount of stretch possible, lay it down here. And just tape it down so it's upside down at this point. So now, this is the most dangerous part, lifting the LCD panel out of the set. Okay, so what I normally do is I try to lift up very gently. Now if you have rubber gloves, use them. Unfortunately, I don't have any that fit. So I want to make sure I can move the screen all the way around the TV. And you can see I can. I'm actually moving it around in here. So I'm going to very carefully try to support it equally and just lift the whole screen out of the TV. I'm just going to set it down very carefully, trying to minimize pressure on the screen. Next, we've got to go ahead and remove all these plastic covers that hold the diffusion sheets in place here. They're normally done, and it depends on what model set you're working on, because some of these you have to remove them in a very specific order. This one appears to be one complete piece. A lot of the other sets have 4 individual pieces, an upper, lower, a right-hand side, and a left-hand side. So what I normally try to do is place this in the same orientation as the screen in which it came off. Now for the diffusion sheets, they can normally all be lifted off as one continuous piece. Once again, try to place those in the same orientation. Sometimes there's tape. This one does have tape. The diffusion sheet should lift off. Once again, place those in the same orientation as the screen. And then last, we're going to remove all these little plastic separators that keep the things from touching each other. So for that, we'll have to flip the set back over. We may have to take the main board out, I'm not sure, but we just got to go ahead and remove all of them. Okay, so now for the single ones, just reach from the bottom and grab a pair of pliers and very gently squeeze, and they'll pull right out. Okay, so now to get these triple standoffs out of the way, lift this end up, slide it very slightly, and then push this end down. There we go. Has a latch right here, and then this tab has to be pushed down at the same time to get it to release. Alright, so now the reflector sheet can be lifted completely out of the set and set completely aside. Next, we just need to go ahead and remove all the connectors here. Okay, so now to disconnect the connectors from the LED strips, might be kind of hard to see, but these 2 tabs right here, just squeeze them together and lift up like that. And to plug them back in, just push them down. So squeeze in and lift up, and they'll come disconnected. And so some of these just have a simple jumper from end to end, like I did when I tested them. Squeeze and lift, and it's disconnected. And so you'll see a little mark I put right here, and so that mark tells me the jumper goes right there. So like on this set, I just put a mark in between them, that way I know that this jumper goes from here to here. Okay, so sometimes these strips are hard to get off the backing. The adhesive is stuck so strong that you might need a little bit of help. If you've got a paint gun, go ahead and grab it. Heat up the strips. It will help soften the adhesive and make it easier to remove. Sometimes the LED covers will pop off like that. Well, we lost almost every LED cover, but that's okay. The new ones have new LED covers, and I'm not worried about the adhesive that's stuck behind. I'm just going to stick the new ones on there. The new ones are on an aluminum substrate instead of just a circuit board like the old ones were. They will dissipate much more heat. Okay, so I marked an A where the A's came off. So it's just a matter of stripping off the adhesive and reattaching it. Although they conveniently did not put a hole. I'm just going to try to line it up as best that I can. So we'll just do that to all of the LED strips and we'll put it back together. Okay, so all of the new LEDs are installed. I just need to put the reflector back in place, put all the clips back on it, put the diffusion sheets back in place, carefully place the LCD panel, reconnect the circuit boards to the rubber mounts, connect the cables to the timing controller, the T-Con board, and then we can give this baby a test run. Alright, let's go ahead and plug it in now. It's all back together. See if we get some backlight that doesn't flash. Oh, look at that. Backlight is on and steady. Well, let me go ahead and get it set upright and we'll take a look and make sure we have video. Well, look at that. Nice good picture. I didn't damage the LCD panel removing it and reinstalling it. The LEDs look great. The picture quality is really good. I certainly hope you enjoyed this video on the repair of the LG TV replacing all of the LEDs. So I certainly want to give a sincere thank you to those who have supported my channel with a donation via PayPal or by having me repair your unit like this one. If you enjoyed this video, please consider subscribing to my channel and liking this video. It really helps my channel grow. You can follow me on social media, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter at NorCal715. Go ahead and leave me a question, a comment, a concern down below. I try to read all the comments and respond when I have time. Remember, with your help, we can keep these things out of the landfill, out of the recycle bin, and out of the e-waste facility. Thanks for watching this video. I really appreciate it. Everybody have a great day. Bye-bye. Okay, a little bonus footage. Let's test the old LED strips that came out of the TV and see what condition they're actually in. One light that lights 6.1, 6.2 volts on one strip. Two lights that light 11.2, 11.3. 4, 22.3, 22.4. 2, 11.4, 11.5. 2, 11.4. 1, 5.7. And 2, 11.8. 2, 11.2. Wow, 4 on that one. 22.6. And last, 2, 11.5, 11.4. So yeah, over half of the LEDs on this set were out. And to top it off, let me get this tape off here. This one right here actually had been so hot that you can see a burn spot on the bottom of the circuit board. This one, just a little bit. Those were kind of the worst ones. The rest of the strips look pretty good. There's not really any burnt spots on them. But yeah, those two definitely were running pretty hot. Rest of them, not so much. Anyhow, thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed the bonus footage. Everybody have a great day. Bye-bye.